Hi there, welcome back to Mustard Seed Homesteading. And today I want to show you how I start my seedlings and all the supplies that I use. Okay, I'm gonna try to hunch in here because I'm trying to get everything on camera, but these are all of the supplies that I use for seed starting. Typically when I start any garden tasks, I like to have everything in place so that I'm not wasting time having to find them. But I'm gonna start with the soil, and I shared this in a previous video. It's called Bacto soil. And it includes a starter and slow release fertilizer. It's a light potting soil. You don't want anything super heavy for your seedlings because you want the roots to be able to grow and for it to reach towards the light to actually start growing. The next thing I use, and I learned this from a garden nursery here where I live, it's called mycorrhiza. And I don't want to butcher the definition, or not the definition, but what it does. So I'm going to read the back of the package. Mycorrhizal fungi form a symbiotic bond with plant roots, creating a microbial web. The microbial web accesses and absorbs water and vital nutrients. I've actually been using this with all of my seedlings, like as I put, before I put the seeds into the holes, and I've noticed great germination. Now, I don't know if it's because of that, but I added in there, and I've also added it in my garden, and I've noticed a difference with that as well. So I do use that powder, and I actually just put it in this little jar to make my life easier, but it's, you can see, it's like a little, it's just like a dark gray kind of black powder. And you'll see I'll sprinkle it into the hole where I put the seeds, or right on top where I just kind of press the seed down. And then of course you're gonna want your seeds. Now on here, you can see it says February 19th, like the week of, and hopefully sometime on a next video I can show you how I organize everything. So that way I'm on a schedule as best as I can be. And then of course you have your tags. Now I reuse my tags. When I'm done using them, I'll just throw them in here, and then I have my marker and I'll just reuse them. And then of course I have two small tools that I use when I actually plant my seeds. This one I actually just incorporated this year recently. It's actually one of the, like a staple that you use into the ground or for whatever outside. And I actually will take this, pretend it's filled with dirt, and I'll just make two little holes, and I'll plant seeds so that they're evenly spaced. I just started doing that and I kind of like it. So this is one of my seed starting tools. The other one is also this, and this kind of helps me to spread the soil over the seed a little bit when I need to, not too deep into there, but just a little bit. And sometimes I'll use this also for making very large holes, but that's more for separating seeds, not seed starting. Now, my last bit of supplies that I need are my seed starting trays, my seed starting pots, as well as the dome that goes over to keep the humidity and the moisture in there for the seeds to germinate. Now, as you can see in the back, I do have other trays. I ran out of these, so I'm improvising right now, but I did purchase these from Bootstrap Farmer, and they're wonderful trays. Maybe I could do a video on all the different trays that I have in the future. But these are the things that you need to start, or at least that I use, that help me get all of my seed starting things together and planted. So the way I pack my soil is I just scoop the soil into the pot, and I don't pack it super tight. I lightly pack it because you don't want it too tight, because as the seeds germinate and grow their roots, you want the roots to be able to grow down towards the bottom, because that's where we're going to put the water goes at the bottom of the tray, and so the roots are going to gravitate to that water. So you want there to be some breathing room throughout the soil, but you also want it packed pretty good in there as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do this for all of the trays, and then I will come back and show you how I actually plant the seeds. So I have all my pots filled with soil, and then I have all of my seed packets in order here. So over here, it's a row of 8 pots going down and then 4 pots going across. And that's why you see 4 seed packets and 4 seed packets. I plan to do 4 pots for each one in this particular tray. And then what I did was I wrote down the name of the actual vegetable, and I wrote down the date ahead of time so that as I start to plant my seeds, everything is all ready to go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I use that little staple that you use outside, and how I make little even holes on each tray, and how I plant the seed. Here's my pot filled with soil up close. I'm gonna take the garden staple, and all I'm gonna do is, as much as I can, evenly kind of make a little bit of a, not even a hole, but just like a little bit of a dent, because these seeds, I have a bunch of tomato seeds. They only need about 1/4 to an 1/8 inch depth to be sown. So really kind of just surface pressing in. But I like to make a little dent, and that's really all I do. And you see how they're evenly spaced? So that way, as the seedlings grow, they have like a good proper amount of space to breathe from one another. And so that's what I'm gonna do with each pot in here. And then what I do is I take the mycorrhiza that I had shared earlier in the video, and all I'm gonna do is just sprinkle a little bit into the holes. So that way, when I plant the seed and the roots start to grow, the root inoculant will strengthen the roots so that I have healthy and happy seedlings to transplant. Okay, so now I'm ready to plant my seedlings. And as you can see, they're 4 little teeny tiny seeds. So each hole that I made 4 holes. I'm gonna plant 1 seed in each hole. And all I'm gonna do is just lightly push some dirt over it. And that is it. It's that easy. And then what I do is I take some of my water and I just spray the top so that the seed makes contact with the soil. And that's it. So I'm going to plant the rest of these and show you my final product when I'm done. Okay, here's my tray. It's all completed. All of my seeds are planted. I watered the top so that it helps to make contact with the seed in the soil. The last thing I do is put this dome over it to help keep the moisture and the warmth in there to allow the seed to germinate. And that's it. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, leave a comment below or let me know how you seed start. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.